A track saw is an excellent alternative for those who do not have a space for a table saw. When choosing a track saw, you should sit down and try to consider what you anticipate doing with the track saw. All track saws are not created equally. Many track saws lack the ability to utilize aftermarket accessories, which enable you to make the most of your investment. If you do not plan to continually build out your tool arsenal, it may be better for you to choose a track saw that allows you access to guide rails, narrow cut adapters, and parallel guides. In this video, I want to touch on the TSO parallel guides, specifically the connectors that attach the parallel guides to the track saw guide rail. TSO has two different models. The TPG adapter drop-on and the TPG adapter slide-on are the two offerings from TSO products. The original TPG adapter slide-on is compatible with many track saw offerings such as the Festool, Makita, Craig, Triton, and I believe the Milwaukee track saw as well. The newest version of the TPG adapter drop-on is only compatible with the Festool and Craig track saw systems. The newest version offers the ability to drop on the parallel guide system for a toolless offering. The toolless functionality does require setup prior to initial use and possible adjustments from time to time, but it does not require the 3mm hex driver with every placement, which is a nice time saver. Let's install the adapters to see both their differences and similarities. It slides in to the groove, and as you see, there's no back component, right? So it's not interfering with the connection here. So let's push this back and slide it onto the Makita. And as you see, there's no interference with this anti-tip when you use this TSO device here. Both attach to the parallel guides in the same way. The differences lie in the rail attachment portion. If you take a closer look at the head designs, you can see that the slide-on version has two rounded corners at the top of the connector. The angle stop consists of 3 components and 4 screws. The connecting bar comes pre-installed on the rail clamp. The 2 screws on the top of the clamp portion of the device connect a bar with tapered ends for convenient installation on the guide rail T-track. To install the TPG adapter slide-on, you need to loosen the screw using a 3mm hex driver to provide clearance for the rail T-track ridge to clear the bracket. Tightening the hex screws squares the parallel guide perpendicular to the rail. The TPG adapter drop-on has the ability to attach in the same way as the TPG adapter slide-on with one unique feature. The drop-on adapter has the ability to fit on the Festool and Craig tracks with a 3-sided connection versus a 2-sided connection of the slide-on adapter. This adds another reference point when connecting the TPG adapter to the rail. So as you can see here, the Makita actually has a lip, an anti-tip lip, whereas the Festool is actually just a regular channel. And this right here is the reason why you're not going to be able to use the updated TSO guide rail connector. If you look here and you see where it lines up, how snug it fits here on the end, if you look there, and you see that there's absolutely no room for it to fit over this lip right here. The third point of contact makes the TPG adapter drop-on incompatible with guide rails with an anti-tip feature. So wrapping this video up, basically, if you compare, so just using the TSO parallel guide adapters, right? So we've got the DeWalt track saw, we've got Festool, you've got Makita, you also have Triton, you've got Milwaukee now, and let's see, what am I missing here? Of course, you got Mafel, and I feel like I'm missing one. I don't know which one that is, but regardless. So looking at these here, right? So if you're going to use the TSO parallel guides, you know right off the bat, you can't get a DeWalt. You also cannot get a Mafel if you're going to use the TSO parallel guide. You can get these options here. However, and you can get the Milwaukee. However, if you want to use the drop-on connectors, then you can only, Craig is the last one that I was thinking about. If you want to use the drop-on connectors, you can only use the Festool or the Craig. But if you use the universal adapters or the original adapters, the slide-on one, then your options, you have Festool, Makita, Triton, Craig, and Milwaukee that you could all use, or that, you know, track saw brands that you have to choose from. So these are things that you have to think, you know, ahead of time when you're talking about choosing a track saw. So this is specific to the TSO parallel guide. You can do this with pretty much any accessory that is offered for a track saw, where you have to run down and look at what you should purchase. Because when I first started out, I decided to go the cheapest route. I bought the DeWalt. And then as I used my track saw more and more, I decided I wanted to use something like the actual parallel guide system. And then that made me purchase the Makita. And I ended up, there was something that I came across to where basically I ended up getting the Festool, but basically I did end up getting the MFT3 and some other things. And then as you can see, similar to how certain companies will kind of be preferential to Apple because it's such a big manufacturer, and so they make things specific for Apple. We have TSO making something specific that works more conveniently with the Festool brand, and Triton just happens to have the same type of rail as Festool. So, or not Triton, sorry, not Triton. Craig has a similar rail to Festool, so that it's actually compatible with the drop-on mechanism, whereas these other manufacturers, Makita and I know Milwaukee specifically, they've decided to put in that anti-tip technology, which is a good feature, but it also it opens up one feature and it basically kind of rules out another one. Now I'm sure TSO could probably design that device to go over that ridge, but then who knows, that may affect the actual running of the saw on the rail. But for right now, if you want to use the drop-on connectors, be mindful. You need to choose either the Festool or the Craig. And if I'm choosing, and if I have the money, I'm obviously going the Festool over the Craig. So anyways, guys, thanks for taking time to watch the video. I'll see you in my next one. Take care.